How's it going? Welcome back to the hangar. In today's episode, I'm comparing cheap versus expensive. So I got two welders that do basically the exact same things. Let's find out which one's better. Okay, to my left, I have my Esab Rebel. It is the 215 IC. And to my right, I got my new Arccaptain MIG 200. They're both multi-process machines. They both MIG, they both lift arc TIG, they both aluminum spool gun, and they both stick weld. They both have around the same rating for power, but there's a vast price difference. So a long time ago when I bought this welder, I paid like $1,900 Canadian for it. That has since gone up quite a bit. It is currently on sale now for $3,200 Canadian, whereas the Arccaptain is on sale right now. They always have good sales going on for $529. Starting with this one, it is about 40 pounds, which when it was released, it was pretty cutting edge for how light and portable it is. We're about 16 inches tall by about 23 inches long and 9 inches wide. So it's still pretty portable, pretty compact, easy enough to carry. My Arccaptain, we're 20 inches long, 15 inches high to the top of the handle, and we are also about 8 inches wide. Little more compact, but it's also a lot lighter. This has a roll of wire in it, and it's still lighter than this one empty. So the dry weight of this is about 20 pounds, 25 pounds. So I got to give the price and portability to the Arccaptain, obviously. Smaller, lighter, more compact, and it's way more affordable. All right, let's talk about the accessories and what you get with each package. With the Esab, came with a Tweco brand 180 gun, pretty high quality. Tweco brand TIG torch with a button to turn it on and off, and it's got a little swivel thing. It is quite long, quite awkward to use even with their swivel, but it does have a button to turn it on and off. So what you do is you hit the button, or you touch material, hit the button, pull away, weld, release the button, end your weld. Came with a pretty high quality regulator. And that was it. That's what came with the Esab. I added foot pedal, because I do prefer foot pedals. This will run you about 500 bucks down. Other option I got is the spool gun. So the Tweco brand spool gun, it was 600 bucks when I bought it. It's about 925 bucks now. I don't really like how it's set up. I don't like the way the wheels are orientated. It's kind of hard to get the wire in, and it has a plastic internal liner. Everything else about it's pretty okay. I've used a lot. I've had zero issues with how the gun runs. With the Arccaptain, I had to ask to get the TIG torch, and it is a smaller, more compact unit. I do like it a little better. Both of them have the manual gas on and off, which I dislike. I prefer a high frequency start that uses a solenoid, because I have drained a bottle of argon more than once by forgetting to turn it off. The spool gun for the Arccaptain, I actually like it a little better because I prefer the top view for loading my wire. It's got cast aluminum components in here, and it's got a coil steel liner. So this is actually a pretty high quality, especially for the price. This will run you about 250 bucks if you're adding it to a machine. If you order the MIG 200 and you get the option with the spool gun, it only adds an extra 100 bucks or something like that to it. So if you were to order this with the welder right now, you're about 650 bucks. I would say if I'm comparing the two, I'd have to give the edge to the Tweco for the MIG guns. But they do have another gun that I haven't seen yet that's supposed to be pretty heavy duty, and it's supposed to work pretty well. There's nothing wrong with this one. It's just if I had to kind of pick the two for longevity, I think the Tweco is just a little, is built a little better than this one. But really, there's nothing wrong with this MIG gun. It's nice and small. My son was able to pick it up, handle it, hold it, and aim it just fine. The Arccaptain also did come with a regulator. I'm trying to think of what else. They both came with a stick welding attachments that were of equal quality. Let's plug them in and let's move on to seeing what the functions are. Okay, so I got my machines plugged in. So this is pretty intuitive. We have different modes. So you go to home, you have MIG, you have what they call their smart MIG, flux cord, stick, lift arc, settings, and then the user manual. So this is a pretty awesome setup for how it is. I've only ever really used the smart MIG setting. You set your wire diameter, hit OK, and then you got this cool little gauge. You turn it up and it automatically sets it for what material you're welding. You can set your bead if you want more penetration or less penetration. And that's it. That's how easily this machine turns on and is ready to weld. We go back to lift arc. Okay, tells you to check your polarity, make sure it's all set up correctly. Okay, and then you just crank up your amperage to what you need. It's pretty awesome. I think Esab really hit it out of the park with how they have it able to program. This one will do absolutely everything. You just have to switch to your different modes. And then you have to make sure that your gas, everything else is the same. We do have the guide inside to tell you exactly what to do and how to set it up. So the only difference really is the Esab has a really nice display that tells you how to do everything. This one you got to open a panel. For ease of use and functionality, I got to give it to Esab. They set the bar pretty high on how easily you can get into and start operating this machine with very little knowledge. Nothing wrong with this. The digital display is still very nice to use. It's easy to operate, but this is like the iPhone of welders. It's just you turn it on and you go. All right, well, let's set it up and let's start running some beads. So to keep everything equal, I'm going to use the same gas, same wire, and same material. I'm going to do thin pass and a thick pass. Should be able to get the gist of it on how they both perform. It's just something that simple. Just going to do a simple T-joint, a couple welds on each one. And I'm going to try to weld as nice as I can with the settings that I prefer for each one. So starting with the Arccaptain. There you go. That's pretty nice. I'm going to adjust it for 1/4 inch. Now I have it on the sync model, so as you adjust your voltage, it adjusts the wire for you too, just like the Esab does as well. Okay? So. Oh, that's cool. I never noticed that before. There's actually a light in here, that's a service light. That's super handy. Oh, cool. There's my Arccaptain. Let's do some Esab. Okay, that feels all right. Do a little weld. Well, they're pretty comparable, but at a lighter gauge, I think that the Arccaptain ran a little smoother. Now I did have the settings pretty similar. Let's see how the Esab handles the 1/4 inch. I'm going all the way. There we are, 1/4 inch. Now I think the Esab can go a little higher, can go a little hotter, put a little more juice out. We'll see. Well, I think the Esab might have the slight edge on thicker material. I think it just has a little bit more power for the heavier stuff. But the Arccaptain did quite well too. They're both pretty equal at the amount of splatter that they produce, and that's very minimal as well. I say for both machines, you're really getting high quality type of welds for whatever price point you want to spend. So I'm going to get them set up with the spool guns. I got the 2 spool guns set up. Got my Tweeko on my left and I got my Arccaptain on my right. Both feel pretty comfortable. This one's a little lighter. And let's see. Cords. Esab has just a little more length, maybe a foot. So to keep everything completely equal, I'm using the same gas. I'm using the same wire. I have 5356 inside of the Esab. I got some aluminum coupons. I got some 1/4 inch. Got some 3/16. And I got some 10 gauge. We'll keep it to 3/16 and 10 gauge. Okay, so now I got it set up. I'm around 21 volts, 458, 460 for my speed. There's my tacks. Here's flat position. There. That's not bad. It's a pretty nice weld. Took me a little bit to get it set up again. I haven't used this spool gun in quite some time, so let's try the same settings on some 1/8. Not bad, good penetration, no burn through. I'll do one more, we'll try it downhand. Downhand wasn't bad either. So, got my spool gun samples for the Esab. Let's get set up and let's try it with the Arccaptain. Let's get this set up now. So I click mode, stick, TIG, spool gun. We'll try it around here. This is kind of where I had everything set up. Once again, same gas, same wire. I will say this though, this sets up way nicer. That opens up. That opens up. This thing opens right up. You can actually get your hands inside and work on it. With the Esab, you take the back cover off and you're trying to push this little button down and thread the wire all the way through. It's not very user-friendly to get it set up. Weld's good, but not very user-friendly. Here we are in the flat. Extremely smooth, really nice. Okay, 10 gauge in the flat. And do a downhand. Wasn't bad. It was really smooth. Had a little bit more smoky than what the Esab was, but I think that was more operator than it was actual machine. Good penetration. I got some good samples here. Let's switch gears. Let's get these set up for TIG. I got some stainless coupons to weld up. Okay, so I set up the Arccaptain for TIG welding. I used their supplied hardware. So I got some stainless steel, 1 pass each. Let's see how they do. I'm going to be using the same rod for each, and it's 316L. Got to remember to turn your gas on. I'm going to set at about 115 amps. See how she does. Not too bad, not too bad. Let's set up the Esab for the last weld. And I'm gonna set it at 115 as well, just to keep everything super equal. I have the Esab set up for the same TIG settings as what I had the Arccaptain. I will give a slight advantage to the Esab because I have it set up with a gas lens. To level the playing field, I'm not going to use the foot pedal. I'm really comfortable with the foot pedal, and I find it's going to be kind of cheating if I can't do the same thing with the Arccaptain. But it does have the button to activate the arc and turn the arc off, so it does save your tungsten a little bit. So I got it tacked together. Turn the gas on. And I should have got down in this position for the Arccaptain as well. Would have been more comfortable for me. So not bad. The one major advantage that the Esab has is being able to release the button and stop the arc. So you can actually get post flow on it too. With the Arccaptain is you have to long arc it and then you lose all your possible post flow with that. Starting with the first weld, we have the 16 gauge mild steel. Nice and consistent, not much for splatter, looking pretty good. 1/4 inch, welded pretty nice. This was the spool gun in a flat position with a 3/16, looking pretty good. 10 gauge, also looking good. 10 gauge downhand, it's a little dark, but we would be able to clean that up with a wire brush, no problem. Here's the stainless TIG for the Arccaptain. It's nice and consistent. My hand started getting a little bundled up here, and then you can see where I long arced it at the end, and then you have a couple little splatter marks there. There's the 16 gauge with the Esab. So I got to give the Arccaptain the edge on that one. There's the comparison for the 1/4 inch. The Esab welded really nice with the heavier material. There's a flat position for the aluminum spool gun. And I got to give the Arccaptain the edge on this one. It was running nicer. There's the 10 gauge. It was welded not bad. And then there's the downhand. Once again, it was a little smoky, but I think the Arccaptain had a better arc for the spool gun. There's the TIG weld for my stainless with the Esab. Got some nice coloring in there. You can see at the end, I was able to not long arc it and not have any stray arcs, and was able to get some post flow on there too. It was a little more consistent with the TIG weld. So to finish off the video, I've been kind of keeping track on my whiteboard of science.
Science rules.
Very official. So first thing I went off of was price and quality. I had to give the overall price per quality to Arccaptain. You just can't beat that price. Everything is under $1,000. For being portable, it's also smaller, lighter, more compact. I had to give that to Arccaptain. The accessories, there was more accessories available for the Esab, but I liked the fact that the price point of the accessories really favored the Arccaptain. Not only that, I found the quality actually pretty high for what you pay for it as well too. For the ease of use and the functions, I had to give that to Esab. The way they have their screen set up, where you can just run the dials and do all that, it's super simple to do. The weld quality, when it comes to MIG, I actually found I had to split the weld quality ones. So I gave 2 to the Arccaptain and 1 to the Esab. For the overall make, I found it welding nicer with the Arccaptain. The spool gun was definitely nicer with the Arccaptain, but I got to give the edge on TIG welding to the Esab, solely for the fact that I was able to stop the weld, allow post flow, and there's a foot pedal available. So my final verdict, we can do a score tally. The way I score it, I got 5 to 2 Arccaptain. Hope you liked my review of these two machines and the head-to-head comparison. If you're in the market for a multi-process machine, my bang for the buck vote is for the Arccaptain. There's nothing wrong with this Esab, especially when it came out a little while ago. It was definitely cutting edge, and they set the bar very high on what a multi-process machine can and should be able to do. Everybody else took note and started making their own. And yeah, if you're definitely in the market for one of these, you can definitely pick one up. You can go to arccaptain.com and you can use code FLYWELDFAB, save yourself an additional 5%. So that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.